welcome to the War Room. Today we have Illini assistant wrestling coach Mike Poeta. After a legendary schoolboy career that included 3 high school national championships and 2 state championships, Mike Poeta came to the Illini as the #1 recruit in the nation. He had 4 storied years wearing the orange and blue. He reached the national finals twice at 157 and became a 3-time All-American. It would have been 4, but he sacrificed for the good of the team his freshman year, reaching the round of 12 at 165. Poeta was an important part of Illinois' 2005 Big Ten championship squad. His career winning percentage of .882 ranks 3rd in school history, and he won 105 matches. Upon graduating, Poeta spent 3 years wrestling as a professional. He represented the United States in the World Cup in Moscow in 2010. He also competed at the 2012 Olympic trials. He then became a successful businessman and coach. First off, Tom and Jerry, Speed Racer, or Scooby Doo?
Okay, the only one I ever watched was Scooby Doo. I was like a little past the other ones.
Oh man, that was the wrong answer.
I have to be honest, yeah.
That was the wrong answer.
But regardless, I feel like if I watched all of them, I was a Scooby Doo fan, so my heart's with Scooby Doo.
Okay, next question. Goodfellas, The Godfather, or Scarface?
Goodfellas. Well, the Godfather. But I'm going to go with answer D, A Bronx Tale.
Oh, really?
Yeah, A Bronx Tale's probably my favorite movie.
You threw us all for a loop.
And here, because the Bronx Tale, what I really like about it is Robert De Niro as the bus driver just reminds me of my dad. Just a blue collar guy, immigrant that just works and just so respectable. So that one's my favorite.
Excellent answer. Okay, another question. South Park, The Simpsons, or Bob's Burgers?
South Park.
That's a good answer too. Now, Coach, the first time I saw your orange shoes was at the Michigan Duel. Where'd they come from? What's their story?
Well, Chief, are you sitting down?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just needed brown shoes, and I went on Amazon, and in the search I typed brown shoes. Those look the best. They were $30. Anyone can look to double check that. I was not a prima donna with them. They were like, honestly, $30. And when they came, they had kind of an orange look to them. And when I saw that you were, how cool you thought they were that they were orange, I just kind of rolled with it, and I never wanted to break your heart, but the description's brown. But I actually think it's a great idea. Like Lou Henson had the orange jacket, and then Bruce Weber and Coach Underwood is going with it now. So I think brown nice shoes orange nice shoes I think that's going to be my thing. I'll seek out a more orange pair next time.
They look awesome. And they're part of the iconic picture from that whole year. And I'm going to make sure and put that in the interview because, I mean, it's just the best picture ever. You and Jeremy Hunter jumping up and down, and Michael Carr holding off Caden Storr from that last takedown.
Absolutely, and that was in a time frame where Mikey Carr was just on a roll. I think he beat the 3rd to 10th ranked guy every single weekend in a row. He just kept taking him out, and he kind of got put in some tough positions, especially when he wrestled Mirren. The danger call when Mikey Carr wrestled Mirren was the worst call of the 2018-19 season. He was on his back for 0.5 of a second, and Mikey got pissed off, and he got away in a second and took him down to his back, and that kind of sums up Mikey Carr. Don't make him mad.
So your orange shoes, your brownish orange shoes didn't come from outer space.
Amazon.com.
Okay. Now you were a very entertaining wrestler in college and high school. I'm sure you're still entertaining. What made you entertaining?
I was blessed with good genes. I don't think that I know I worked exceptionally hard, and I was a student of the sport, but I don't think I did more than other people worked extremely hard. I was just blessed with being really fast, and that allowed me to be more entertaining, and I'm not complaining. I really like that I could be like that.
Well, that's a good answer too. I was in the stands when you wrestled your freshman year up at 165 against that guy from Michigan. I'm not going to say his name. And we were
Well,
at
you can say his name because I'm great friends with them, the whole family.
the Torellas.
Yep, they're some of my favorite people in the world. They're as stand up and a class act as there is in this world.
Awesome. Well, there's news for us right there.
I still want to beat him though.
Oh yeah. Well, I tell you what, I thought you did.
Yeah, so I'm a freshman. He's the #1 ranked guy in the country. It goes into overtime. I hit a double. I put him on his butt, and I feel like the referee could have given me 2 right when it happened. And he started getting his hips and his legs away. And I will not lie, I grabbed his knee pad as hard as I could, and I pulled that thing to me because that was the only way I was going to suck his leg back in. And the ref gave him a deserved, I guess, penalty point. And I was trying to complain to the ref. Thank God my hand was taped up. I was telling the ref that the tape was stuck to it. It was the only excuse I could come up with at that second. But being a freshman, an opportunity to beat the first-ranked guy, I was going to do anything.
Well, I tell you what, I thought you won. You won it fair and square, but there was a technicality, we'll say.
Okay.
So now you ran a school, an academy for wrestling. You did a really good job with some people like Emery Parker. What do you say to people who want to know, hey, what kind of advantage does private training do for my kid?
Well, it's huge because you're exposed to a college or like Olympic style environment, and maybe when you're coached by someone that has very good accolades, you have more trust in your training and you believe in it more. So that might have gone a long way. And the thing about Emery Parker is Emery is the greatest kid you'll ever come around. When we have recruits in, he is the one that is standing in front of them, talking to them and the parents, because he is so well spoken. He's such a good kid, and he can really explain kind of Illinois really well. And especially, Emery got a graduate degree in finance, and it's the #2 finance school in the country. So the fact that he got his undergraduate, his graduate degree in that while taking 3rd and 5th in the country is extremely impressive. The only thing that sucks about Emery is that it's always like a backhanded compliment. Everyone always has to say Emery Parker never qualified for state until his senior year. It's like the success he had in college always has to be like, wait, look at how amazing this is because his lack of success in high school. And he was a state finalist, so obviously that was like successful, and that's very hard to do. But I can guarantee you there's no guy that took 3rd in the country that only qualified for state one time in high school.
Yeah.
That took 3rd against the Blaze. And so Emery, his junior year when he lost his first match, kind of the story goes, he was the first guy off the bus. He stopped. Everyone else just started piling behind him and hitting in a single file line every single person in front of them because Emery didn't keep walking. As he stepped off the bus, his phone slipped out of his hand and went down a sewer. And now, in this day and age, a phone to a kid is another limb to them. And especially in between matches, that is all the kids do. They're all on their phone passing the time. So that was like Emery getting his arm chopped off before the NCAAs even started. And so every kid in the tunnel from every single team is sitting there on their phone, and Emery is like just sitting there slouched over, and that actually probably could have been a good thing to him. But him losing his first match, he won 7 straight matches after that. He took 3rd in the country, and it was probably the hardest I've cried in the past 5 to 10 years of my life.
Oh my goodness. Good story. Well, let me ask you this. Is he going to wrestle freestyle?
No, he's done. Emery just wants to make money. He's the degree he got. He had a great opportunity to get a great job up in Chicago. Emery's involvement in wrestling, I don't know how long it'll go, but I know his involvement in making serious money will be on his mind in the rest of his life. And he had an opportunity to do that separate from the coaching. And so that's why we lost him. And I know it was a really hard thing for him to move on, and we all love him. But his opportunity to get a job was just too good.
Okay,
Not in the wrestling world, in the finance world.
I'm going to change the subject here. Ask you about the freshmen and the redshirt freshmen. I mean, there's a lot of excitement about the team this year, but I think there's maybe even more excitement about what's coming. Can you give us a hint about what's coming?
Yeah, so we have superstars coming to us. I mean, I could list them all, but if I'm listing the guys that I'm impressed with or proud of that are, we'll start at seniors in high schools who signed with us, redshirt freshmen and freshmen. I'm going to list 20 names to you. And I absolutely apologize for anyone that I leave out right now, but some people who put themselves in a position to be really special, they kind of need that credit. And some of the heavy hitters that are coming to us who are seniors in high school, starting with that, we'll go Luke Odom, Elon Hurd, Danny Cucino, Cody Goodman. And a really cool thing about Elon Hurd was I got an email last week, and it was from a high school coach, and he said to me, he goes, I've been hearing so much hype about Elon Hurd all season, and you never know what to believe. I just saw him at regionals, and everything is true. You guys are getting a superstar. So hearing things like this from a coach that I don't even know is really cool. Now, redshirt freshman-wise, between Lucas Bird, DJ Shannon, Trey Sizemore, and again, there's so many more. I mean, kids, Zacconi, Gunther, just so many I can name, and I love all the rest of the kids also. But I have very high expectations from Lucas Bird and DJ Shannon, and they're guys that could be wrestling right now. But we have Travis Piotrowski and Joey Gunther there, so it's actually a great opportunity for them to redshirt. As a coach, the best way you want it is a fifth-year senior and a kid redshirting who's that talented, where he can fill in right after that.
That's perfect situation. Coach Poeta, tell us a story about wrestling.
A story about wrestling?
Yeah, a funny story, a poignant story, any story that you want to tell us about wrestling.
Okay, so we're at the Vegas tournament my freshman year in college, and Carl Perry got the hotel. And Carl Perry, one of my favorite people in the world, one of the most inspirational coaches I ever had, he wasn't the greatest at booking hotels, and I don't know why the job and the responsibility kept falling on him, because everywhere we would show up, it would be very suspect, and Coach Johnson would yell and scream at him every single time. But it's like lesson never learned on either parts, on Johnson or Carl. It just kept happening. But we're at the Vegas tournament, and for some reason we're staying about 20 minutes off the strip in a very, very rough area. We were at a hotel. Our room, it was the outside doors to get in, and the people that were just basically loitering around our rooms, around the area, were people that you just didn't want to be around. And people that just basically looked like drug addicts, nothing going on in their life. And I hate to say that, but it was like, it was about, it was people that were very scary around there. So Coach Johnson said to us, do not put the bolt lock in your door where your door is closed, but where everyone can get in freely. And that's usually how the guys are in hotels. They put the thing in their door or a towel, and everyone can walk into everyone's room without having to knock because they're all so tight. But he made a point to us to say, do not do that. And we come back from a workout, and I'm in Coach Johnson's minivan, his rental car that he's driving, and as we pull into the motel, his door to his room that he's staying in by himself is wide open. And he slams on the brakes, and he hops out of the car, and he goes sprinting into his room. And Coach Johnson's temper, if anyone knows him, it wasn't like a short temper. There was like nothing. It was just a temper. Like it just happened immediately for him all the time. And he slams on the brakes, leaves us all in the car, hops out, and he's sprinting into his room. And it was pretty obvious to all of us that it was the maid in his room because the cart was right next to his door. And he never put the car in park. And now you got me, Pete Friedel, Cassio Barrow, all these guys in this car just rolling down the parking lot with no one in the driver's seat. And someone had to just jump into the driver's seat, go, pump the brakes, and throw the car in the park.
Oh my gosh. So it was a mistaken identity.
Yeah, it was the main. The cart was literally in front of his door.
You mentioned Pete Friedel. I remember seeing him. He'd come out for warm-ups in pajamas. What was going on with Pete Friedel?
I love Pete, but Pete's odd, and Pete'll let you know that. Pete's just a little different. He was like as slick as could be for a big guy, for a 74, 84 pounder, and he was definitely a role model. But Pete's a little different.
Who were some of your heroes from wrestling, especially when you were a kid, but also, when you were in college? Who were you looking up to?
When I was in high school, I idolized Doug Schwab and Brian Snyder. Those two were I wanted to be them. And I think what helped me was, and I think this could help any wrestler, is when I wrestled, I just tried to be them. I just tried to do the stuff that they did. And it kind of takes the pressure off yourself and the doubt off yourself. Because it's like, hey, look at these guys are winning national titles and in the national finals. And if their stuff's working, I know it'll work. And Brian Snyder kind of being an idol to me, we kind of had a very similar career of being in the finals twice, definitely being the favorite in one of the matches and getting upset. And then the other one losing, he lost to TJ Williams, one of the greatest wrestlers ever. I lost to Jordan Burroughs, which is, if you're going to lose anybody in the national finals, you want to lose to who's considered the greatest wrestler of all time. It's a really nice excuse.
So you lived up to your hero.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when my junior year of high school, when Griff Powell started coaching me, that is when I became the wrestler that I became. And he's the most important figure, along with my dad, in wrestling for me.
Yeah, you were a two-time high school state champion and the #1 recruit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a kind of oddball question for you. I'm pretty sure that nobody will invent the absolute best duck call until scientists have figured out the duck words for beer and free. Now, on that note, what advice do you give to parents who have a kid who's sitting on the couch playing video games and should be wrestling?
Well, kids need to be pushed because, to me, wrestling is the most beautiful sport in the world, the most beautiful art, and it's like it is like modern day warriors, gladiators, and because of that, it's one-on-one. The pressure that you can feel is very extreme. So as a kid, you don't want to feel uncomfortable. So you need to be pushed, and as a parent, you have to push your kid, and it has to be somewhere in the middle. You can't ruin your relationship with the kid, but at the same time, you can't be too soft on him.
Yeah. On a different subject, the IRTC is just going crazy right now. You got Imar, you got Zane, you got the Dardanes, or at least one of them, and
Yeah, Dick Dardanes.
all the Greco guys. Who gets to wrestle with Imar?
Okay, so unfortunately, myself sometimes. He goes in the room. I'd say he probably wrestles with Danny Bronigal the most. He goes with the Bronigals a lot. He goes with Baroni a lot, and Gunther.
Did Baroni get that underhook from Imar?
Yeah. So I actually always say this to Eric. Isaiah's the strongest person I've ever wrestled in my life. I trained with Andrew Howe. And I would say up to the point of grabbing Isaiah, Andrew Howe was that guy that I said there's just a difference when you're wrestling with Howe than anybody else. And then once I started wrestling with Isaiah, he became that guy. I've just never felt anything like that. But so Isaiah wants to have a lefty underhook, and that's where Baroni is best. And if I closed my eyes, I couldn't tell you who had it because Eric could actually bully me around. And so, I would do things that guys do in the wrestling DeSanto. If I'm wrestling Baroni, my elbow is so exaggerated in.
So who wrestles Zane?
Zane probably goes with Travis the most, and then also Bird, Cardani, and Duncan probably the next. Those three probably equal.
Okay. Well, Coach, I'm going to wrap it up here for now.